Hi, welcome to the Cookie Chat. This is our live, I believe, episode 6, where we talk all things baking and community of baking, pros and cons, pet peeves, and interviewing bakers. We are so excited to be interviewing our first baker tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and get my other half on here. Hi!
Am I good? Okay.
You're here. Welcome.
Yes.
Everybody say hi to Miss Chelsea.
Hi guys. I'm loving all the themes we have.
I know there are so many good ones.
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Chelsea, you did back to school.
I
right?
did. Yes. Yes.
You got those all done.
Yes. My kids went back this past week. So yeah, Arizona's already back. It's been back for 2 weeks in most places.
I'm not jealous at all.
Texas will catch up. Let's see.
We're at the point in the summer where apparently the tone of my voice is inaudible
Oh
to
yeah.
our children. So
I love it.
we're at the point where we're ready for them to go back.
Right.
So
Right.
is it multiple Grinch themes, or was that the same person and I missed it? There's a Grinch baby shower. I feel like that needs to become more of a thing.
Grinch baby shower?
Yeah, I think that's what I saw. Grinch baby shower.
Plug mine in.
I love a creative baby shower theme.
I know. I had a Christmas in July gender reveal.
Ooh.
Right?
I love.
Yes. I thought that was very creative. I hadn't seen that
What
yet.
did you do? What did you do for it?
They had a very specific idea for it that they were going with, was like Santas and gifts and colors and the red and the green. Like I think red was girl, green was boy. It was a whole. Yeah. So no, it was super cute. It was so unique. I hadn't seen that at all.
I love that.
But awesome.
Yay. Hello.
I know. What a week. You guys, if you only knew the stuff from behind the scenes, man.
Yeah. It's always a week over here.
It is.
Chelsea and I have both been through it this week. But we are here. We are here for you guys.
Yes, we made it. We are alive. We're on the screen. Yay.
Yay.
Awesome. You want to get started? We have so much to do.
Let's get started. Guys, it's our first baker interview.
It is. It is.
So excited for this. You guys saw us talking about it. We are interviewing Miss Murrah of Burnt Cookies by Murrah.
I love the name.
To bring her on here and start chatting.
Yes. Yes, let's do it.
I am going to invite you, Miss Murrah. I hope she accepts my request.
Oh, it's a process.
It is, right?
Yes.
Did you have the moment of yelling at the screen that I always have?
It kept saying like it was sent and I can't cancel it. I was like,
Yeah.
Yay, you're on.
There she is.
You got on so much more gracefully than I.
Hi. It was so easy.
She's a pro, you can tell. Welcome to the Cookie Chat.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yay.
All right. So
we had quite a discussion about time zones today.
Oh gosh.
We're learning over here. I am so sorry. We are correcting our little post because I throw everybody off. So I sincerely apologize to every other state. But fun fact, if you did not know, Arizona does not do daylight savings.
Which is how we should all do it.
Right. So when people ask like what time is it, or like what time zone, I'm like, we float between different time zones.
So we totally threw Murrah off, so she had an extra hour to drink. So this is gonna be great.
Just gonna be an extra fun interview tonight, y'all.
It's okay. We love it. We got ours. We're all good. Perfect. Is that the Topo Chico stuff?
On that boat, Murrah. I wish.
Melissa, is that the Topo Chico? What is it?
It's a Topo Chico.
Okay, I can't find those. I see everybody post them.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I haven't seen that in our stores.
Maybe it's because of your stupid time zone.
Probably. Arizona's just lagging everything over here. Lagging behind. But awesome. All right. Well, we will get started. started because we want to honor our wonderful guest's time. So Miss Murrah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. All right, so for our followers on here who are just getting into cooking or maybe brand new, tell us about yourself, a little backstory. One for sure is definitely how you got the name, because that's my favorite. So let's hear it. Tell us about your wonderful business.
All right. So I'm like one of those people that have baked with my mom since I was little, and I just like love to bake. And when my daughter turned 1, I wanted, like first time mom, first kid, I wanted like the biggest party, and I needed the fancy cookies. So I went on Etsy because I didn't even know like how to find local people. I wasn't on Instagram at the time. I went on Etsy and I saw the prices and I was like, oh, hell no, I can't afford these cookies. Like, people charge way too much for these cookies. What is wrong with it? I was one of those people. So my sister was like, well, I can make them. I'll figure it out. And I was like, okay, great, thanks. So of course, Maya just like whipped out these beautiful cookies. We did like You Are My Sunshine theme, and she made the cutest cookies. And so I was like, well, I want to do that. So she taught me, and I think we did our first set together on Halloween of 2017, and we made some like little beakers with like potions in them, and it was so fun. And I've now come to realize why we charge so much for our cookies, and I will never think that again. But that's what got me into it. And at the time, I also burned wood, which I still do. It's super fun, like making burnt wood signs and things like that.
my aunt does this, and it is such a cool art form. It's like really relaxing. It's just like with a pen, but you're like really making something, and you smell like a campfire while you're doing it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
That's so cool. It's such a cool art form.
It's really fun. Cool. And I was like, okay, maybe I'll be able to like do both of these businesses as one. So I call myself Burnt Cookies by Murrah, and because Burnt Cookies was already taken, I reached out to this lady. I'm like, you don't use your site, give it up. But it wasn't happening.
Which is why we tell people snag it all immediately.
It's true.
Yes.
And so I started posting both burnt wood and cookies, and it turns out nobody wants burnt wood signs. Nobody. They just want cookies and more cookies. So I finally gave that up. I mean, I still do it for fun for my family, but I just kind of went full force with cookies. I played around for about a year making them for friends and family. And then in 2019 is kind of when I got more serious. I started posting every single day, making cookies every single day. My daughter was older, and so I just had a little more time. And then I started selling and got my business license, and it was super fun and also exhausting and stressful. And so full-time baking, Chelsea, you're a saint. I don't know, right? I don't know.
Like how?
Thank you.
Yeah. I was teaching, so I definitely couldn't do full-time, but I felt like I was doing part-time kind of after school and stuff.
What grade did you teach?
I've taught a lot of the elementary school grades.
Bless you.
Yes,
my last one was 2nd grade, and I don't think I could ever go lower than 2nd grade. So kindergarten teachers have like a special place in this world.
Oh yes, yes. All of you guys do. All of you.
All the teachers.
It's amazing.
And we have so many teachers in this community, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that's a lot?
Energy to do this on the side is, I mean, that's
it's a lot. But it's also nice to have a creative outlet. I was like momming and teaching, and it was nice to have this thing that was just mine. So I think that's one reason why I really latched onto it.
So Murrah, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first time that you actually decorated the cookie, how long if you guys don't know, Painted Ladies Pastry is Maya, who is Burnt Cookies by Murrah's sister. So,
it's going to be like my
follow the bouncing ball.
So I will always name drop. That's my sister.
Oh.
Yes, that's the connection.
sister.
Hey.
We're legit, sister Maya. We love you. Okay, so I have a few questions because we've got a whole hour, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe even longer. We didn't say this at the beginning. Guys, we
Oh,
talk
yeah.
a lot. Instagram has a tendency to kick us off after an hour. We use that as our little commercial, refill your wine, go to the bathroom, and we all pop back on.
Yeah.
So just so you
Follow
know,
us over.
we will give you a heads up when that happens. But I want to go back a little bit. So what's the age difference between you and Maya?
3 years.
3 years. Are you older or are you younger?
I'm younger.
She's like, I hate this.
Sorry, Maya,
Oh,
you
yeah,
old.
Okay, so you're the younger sister. How long had Maya been decorating?
So she's been decorating. I think she was been decorating just a little while, maybe made like a handful of sets.
Okay.
Yeah, just kind of dabbling here and there.
Okay.
But
So
she
she's
also
just
has
kinda
a
started
full-time, very a demanding job. So she's also was a dabbler.
Yeah. Okay. So you enjoyed it the first time that you did. So you actually had the experience of, for instance, taking a cookie class with somebody to learn.
Yeah, she like made the icing with me and showed me
Aww.
like the consistency I needed, and we like colored it and we made these little cookies together.
Okay.
It was adorable.
I feel like that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I mustered through after a bunch of YouTube videos and I absolutely hated it and swore I would never do it again. And then, like, I'm a perfectionist, so I was like, I will do this and master it.
Yeah.
So I love that you had a positive first experience with it.
I did. I'm sure that helped. I'm also really like impatient. I don't watch any YouTube. Like, it is hard for me to get through a whole like minute-long reel. I'm like, a minute of this? Even if
But
it's
you
like,
watched the cookie chats fully, I'm sure.
like, I just don't. I mean, cookie chats, of course, but everything else. I have no patience. So I'm not somebody that watches tutorials. I don't, unless I'm in the class in person, I don't watch classes.
Yeah.
I'm just more of a go for it and hope for the best. And I reach a lot of mistakes and troubleshoot a lot that way. But I don't know. It's just my personality.
So,
I love that.
okay, outside of cookies, what things have you had to learn the hard way?
Oh, gosh.
Just by doing.
I mean, to be honest, like, teaching is just a daily show. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to curse. But it is just a mess. You never know what you're going to get. So I would say that is like the ultimate, like, trial by fire, learn as you go experience, because every year and every class you have is different. And you want to do your best for those kids. So you're always trying to, learn and be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also really wanted to ride a motorcycle. Thought it'd be really cool to get my motorcycle's license one year.
Please tell me that you did not attempt that without any lessons.
So I know I went to a class. I was
Okay.
I'm
I was gonna say, I'm like terrified
I
for
didn't
you.
win that one. I was like, I'm gonna have to go take this class. It was horrible. I couldn't even get the bike to go straight. Like, I was a mess, and I quit right away. I did finish my classes, but it just goes to show, like, I just don't have patience. I need to just figure it out and go for it. I'm not good at taking my time.
It's so funny you say you don't have patience, yet the skill level of
Right.
your artistic cookie ability is like the most patience of all.
Well,
And-
and also
Sweet.
being a teacher.
You're
Yes.
so sweet. But, like, I don't know, when I'm sitting there doing it, it's like fun and relaxing, and I'm like in the
is
zone. But, like,
therapeutic.
watching somebody else do it, and I mean, they can be fantastic. It doesn't matter. I'm just not that kind of learner. I just have to do it.
Yeah, I get that. There's only and I tell this to anybody, watch as much as you can, but at the end of the day, there's only so much you can learn from watching. This is an art form that you have to just do it. You just have to do it. Okay, so my other question that I had, do you and Maya have the same cookie recipe?
I think we do. Yes. So I think when we started, we both used this like one-off Pinterest, just like we weren't on Instagram. So it wasn't like we were part of any community and like, oh, let's use this person's recipe.
Yeah.
It was just a random Pinterest. And I think since then we've both tweaked it to be our own, but it was the same base one. And honestly, like most recipes, and I bow down to people who make recipes because it's not my thing. It's magic. I don't know. But most of them have a solid base, and then people do neat things off of that. So we've just tweaked it a little.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, Chelsea, what do you want to know more about Murrah's beginning stages?
I want to know how you got into like truly painting, because I've been doing cookies now going on 4 years, and it is terrifying to me. I'll like text Melissa, my other friends. I'm like, wait a minute, is this correct? Am I doing it right? Like,
You're doing a great job, Chelsea.
Well, thank you. I'm learning. But tell us, like, how did you get drawn from what we typically see of the cooking, like just the 2-dimensional, to truly these beautiful pieces of art that just should never touch someone's lips?
Yeah.
So,
Too kind.
just walk us through that. Did it happen accidentally, or was it just made for you?
Did you paint ever, like before cookies?
No, I know everyone is like always jumps down my throat when I say this, but I don't consider myself an artist. It was never something that I felt confident in or good at. I can't take something and draw it and make it look like that. I just never have been able to. But I was all into creating. So like I when I was a young, like assistant taught like kids art classes for my little teenage job, and like would do clay and stuff. So like I like to create, but I never considered myself an artist. So when I started, I was doing a lot of buying cookie cutters that already have a shape, using that inspiration from the cookie cutter sites, because their cookie cutters are so cute, as you all know, mixing my ice, like just trying to learn and replicate what people are doing that I see and I like. And then from there, I saw a couple things that, for me, it's like, I want to cookie those things, but I don't have like a cutter and template for that. Like, how do I just do this?
Yeah.
And so that's when I just started trying to like create some of my own projects. And that was like a turning point for me, because once I realized I can really do whatever I want with cookies. I mean, obviously if you're taking an order, there's guidance, but once you can really make it your own, it's like a whole nother world. And I started wanting to do designs that I didn't feel the royal icing was giving it all it needed. Like the characters, so many tiny details, so many colors. Nobody's got time for that. I know some people do it, and magic. I don't want to do that. I don't want to make like 20 colors for one cookie for like that tiny little dot here.
Yes.
So
I feel
yeah. So I started.
My biggest thing is black.
Details.
I'm like, if I can paint it,
exactly.
or use a marker, I'm gonna do it for black.
Exactly. So I started by just doing that, just adding the details in paint or the details in markers. And then I realized, like, well, we can just go ahead and paint. And I went to CookieCon Reno, which was 2019, I think. So only when I've been to, I loved it. It was amazing.
Aww.
And I took 2 classes. I took Angela's class and Liz's class. And so the Painted Box and Inspired to Taste, and they both are like amazing. So I learned all this painting stuff, and then all this fondant stuff. And then later, after I'd been painting a while, I took a portrait painting class with Sandy at You Can Call Me Sweetie, which was another purely painting one. They're all magical and inspiring. And so then that helped me, like, okay, this is like a thing. It doesn't take as long as I'm thinking it was going to, because that was one thing. It's like, how do you? And then
that's me.
Yeah. And then what you do is you get yourself a projector. That is how you paint cookies. You get yourself a good projector, and you learn how to use that to your advantage if you don't consider yourself someone who can do that. And I'm telling you, if I can do that, you can do it too, because you just have to have the tools. Just like artists have tools. Projector is just a tool we use.
Love it. I love it.
I'm with you.
Yes.
Okay, so what would be, well, first I want to know, I think this is so interesting that you said that you have a hard time considering yourself an artist or haven't thought about yourself as an artist. I have so felt that same way. Chelsea and I talk about this too, of like, when did you start to like own that you are a business owner? And it took me a long time to come to that too, of I'm not just a stay-at-home mom, I also like have a business. So I want to know from other people, do you guys feel like you are artists? Because here's what I'd say is I think that we think of ourselves as bakers, but especially when it comes to pricing, a lot of times I think people are pricing themselves as bakers, but they are not pricing themselves as artists.
That's true.
I think that that is huge when it comes to like pricing and valuing the time that you're giving yourself to do these things. So I find that so interesting. So do you consider yourself an artist now?
I consider myself a cookie artist. I totally would say that. And I actually don't consider myself a baker. I don't like that part of it necessarily. I like baking other things for fun, but I have to follow a recipe. Like, I don't have that many flavors under my belt. Like, I'm just more like the decorating piece. And I do consider myself a cookie artist. And I guess I came more into that when I started, again, taking that ownership of like, you give me this idea and I know that I'm going to come up with my own thing. I'm not even going to look at what other people have done. Whereas before I'd be like, baby shower Winnie the Pooh cookies, like, into Pinterest trying to find like, what are those? What am I supposed to do? Now it's like, give me Winnie the Pooh, tell me it's a baby shower, and I'm going to create my own set and designs. And then I felt like I'm going to offer them something that they're not going to get from somebody else. And that made me feel a lot more confident.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Back. Chelsea, did you want to read back some of what people said?
Yeah.
You guys are seeing all of this.
We're seeing a cohesive trend of people not really considering themselves artists. For one of them saying, I don't think I'll consider myself one until I figure out my own design style. I'm still in the beginning stages despite how long I've been at this. I think that is so true. And I never, I guess, really thought of it in that sense of all of us not really considering ourselves artists, as the stereotypical artist is pen to paper.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know. I have a little bit different of I don't consider myself I cannot technique draw. Like, you can't just give me paper and pen and send me on my way. That's not my strong point. But I guess I feel art is so broad. And I think it's because, I know Melissa did too, we grew up dancing. So to me, like, dance is such an art form of expression. So yeah, that's so interesting. My last client was picked up her order and called me an artist, and I was shook. Yes, girl, because you are.
Yes, it's so true. I remind people this all the time when they're getting just worked up or something about not feeling like their skills are going to be good enough, especially when it comes to pricing or something like that. People are coming to you because they cannot do this themselves, right? Murrah, I am so like you. I learned to do cookies because I didn't want to pay for other people to do it because I'm very much a DIYer. So I'm like, I can figure out how to do that. Like, I come from a family of crafters. I'm like, I'll figure that out. So I'm so much like you. And I think that there are definitely, I think, Get Sweet AF. I feel like there are people who absolutely are, maybe have the visual arts abilities before they get into cookies. And I think a lot of times you can see people immediately either take off on Instagram or have these incredible cookies right off the bat because they have that skill with their hands already, I think. And they have that creative muscle is so strong for them thinking about that visually and visual arts. And I'm like Chelsea said, I was an artist in music and in dance and theater and that stuff. But as far as visual arts, not at all. And I am all about, like, you have to mimic other people's work in order to learn the skill, right? That's why in dance, you learn other people's dances before you would ever start choreographing a dance yourself.
Right.
You know, like, that just doesn't happen. So I completely understand the concept of not being able to own the artistry of it until you kind of have your own style, until you're seeing techniques, say the concrete technique or the crumpling technique. You guys know I love figuring out techniques. It comes from seeing other people's stuff and then connecting dots and being able to just like come up with stuff. So
I think also we're like in this insanely talented, saturated cookie market on Instagram and social media where the talent is out of control, and it can, and even though we always tell each other, like, don't compare yourself, you just can't help but look at something and go, well, I'm not at that level, or I can't do that. It's just, I mean, human nature. But you have to remember, like you said, someone's coming to you because they can't do what you do. And so I'll do a set and think, oh, this one is not like, ooh. And then you give it to the person and they're like, this is the most amazing thing. You've made this party. Thank you so much. So they don't go on Instagram and look at cookies all day. And, you know, like, it's just different. So we also have this like standard that sometimes can be a little daunting, but that's not real life business wise. So I think it's important to like just remember we're in a social media, like if we didn't have Instagram, we would think we're the best cookiers on earth because look at what I made. So
I heard the most interesting fact about, like, it was a who are the people who study human nature? What's that called? Sociologist? Is that right? Was that?
Sure. Chat, tell us.
What is it?
We don't even know time zones, chat. Tell us.
You're asking the wrong people.
Tell us what that is. But it was so interesting. They were saying before social media, you only had your direct community. And in your direct community, most likely everybody has a forte or a profession. And in that community, they are the expert in that thing. Once social media came, there's no small community. It's this worldwide community. So there are no experts anymore. All the experts are exposed. And so it's just, there's everybody.
Yeah.
So
I feel with that being said, like as far as artists, I feel almost that's why our feelings get hurt maybe when you see something and you're like, we're so proud of, like, going back to Winnie the Pooh. Oh my gosh, I made this amazing Winnie the Pooh set. And then you see someone else who's like hand painted and you're like, never mind. Because it's such an art. And that's where that art is the expression of who you are and your heart and soul. And like, this is what I'm so proud of. So it is, you're right, Murrah. It's really hard not to compare, especially like, in the growth process.
Yeah. But at the same time, we have to like look at it as, man, I would not be where I was otherwise, because healthy comparison can make me feel like, well, if I had done it this way, maybe I'll try that next time. Not look better. Because otherwise I probably would still be making those first cookies with royal icing over and over because it's all I know and I think they're great. So it's also the social media comparison can be really beneficial to you in your business if you can embrace it in that way and not let it get to you too bad.
Totally.
Right.
Totally.
Definitely love that.
And going back and looking at your past work, I think is so important too. Going back and looking at your own journey. If you're ever down, like I remember looking back at some photos of stuff where I'm like, oh, I thought that was like my top. And now I look back and I'm like, ooh.
Yes. One of my favorite collabs I did was in January, I think, of this year. I did like a glow up kind of month where I encouraged everyone to make a set of one of their old sets and post it. It was amazing. It was amazing. People, like, whether it was a few months or years, the growth was like, wow. And people were just like, look at me. And I love that.
Amazing.
Like, look at what I did. So it's so cool to compare.
I love that.
Speaking of that with the collabs, can you tell us, because I know we got a little sidetracked from your journey of a part-time baker with teaching, but you are like Miss Collab Queen. So what is the collab? How did you get into that? Like, walk us through that next part of your journey.
Yeah, for sure. So when I was having my second kiddo, I decided to take leave, like an extended maternity leave from work, and that was a very nice for my cookie life because I stopped doing all orders and I had more time on my hands, kind of, not with the baby, but you know. Anyways, I turned more into hobby, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm not currently taking orders, and it just allowed me to do more fun things like collabs. And I got into collabs kind of near the beginning of my journey with the cake community. And I don't know if you guys follow like these awesome cake gals. I don't know if we call them cakers, like we call ourselves cookies.
If you're a cake person, what do you call yourself?
What do you call yourself? I don't know.
Yeah.
Those cakers, I'm gonna call them that. They're amazing. And I don't make cakes, so I'm always just in awe every time I try. But they were doing collabs, and they would reach out to me. I was still pretty new, but I was making friends and just liking their stuff, engaging with them. So they invited me to a few, and I was the only cookier in those groups, which like just gave me all this freedom, because no matter what I made, they're always like, Murrah, that's amazing. And I'd be like, this is awesome. This is so good. And I'm just like, it was a great confidence boost. I love seeing their work. And so it got me really interested. I was like, this is fun. I get to make whatever I want. It's not for an order. I get to try new things, because if I screw up, it's just a collab. It's not like it's somebody who's paid me.
Right. Sure.
I made a lot of friends. And it's a confidence boost to put yourself out there with a bunch of other creatives and love on each other's stuff. That's fun.
Aww.
And so I got really into it, and I kept doing them. And then, I don't know, when I did my first one, I think it was my throwback collab in 2019, in like March 2019, I think. I hosted my first one, and I invited friends, because I was just not confident or ready enough to be like, anyone come do this with me, like to put myself out there like that.
Yeah.
So I invited some friends, and we did it together, and it was a blast. And then I just kind of went from there, and I kept doing them. And basically, for those who are new to collabs, you just kind of pick a theme or a technique. You usually have like a group chat together, and you post all on the same day using the hashtag, so you can kind of look at everyone's work together and how they interpreted it. So I love them.
I love it.
Yeah.
So you went from the friend group collab. Now has it grown into more like you just kind of post on your page, and then it's anybody in the community can join?
Yeah, so there's lots of different types. I get asked this a lot. So there is invite-only collabs, where obviously you know about it because you'd be receiving an invitation from someone. And when I do those, it's because I need to keep it small for whatever reason. For example, I did one recently where I had to pair a cake and a cookie up, and it was so fun. Yeah, that one was magic. But I needed to be able to pair them, and I needed to hear back from people on a timely manner, and I needed it to, I didn't want anyone to not post, because then the other person didn't have their match. So I kept it very small. So certain times, if I need it to be small, I will invite. Usually it's an open collab, and if you look out there, I'd say like 90% of the collabs I see are anybody come. So it's very welcoming. And yeah, people usually post on their page or post in their stories. I have a highlight setup that says collaboration. So if you ever want to click through, I will post the ones that I'm hosting, and sometimes I'll post the ones I am participating in as well. And then I'll get asked a lot, how do I find these? Like, how do I get in there? Because once you're in there, you usually tend to hear about more. Like, how do I take that first little step? And I would recommend following along with people who host collabs. So like, if you heard somebody hosted it and you were just like, darn, I missed that, go ahead and give them a follow, or turn on the notifications if you're already following them of their stories. Usually is where you hear about it the most, so that you can jump on it. The other thing to do is there is a hashtag in a site called Never Miss a Collab.
Oh, wow.
It is, from what I've seen, a lot of cake collabs, but they definitely have cookie ones too, or open to anyone. And again, the cake community is amazing too, so jump in theirs if they'll allow you. So if
I belong on Nailed It. I don't know.
No, I mean like jump in as a cookier, because then they're gonna be like, wow, look at these awesome cookies, and you'll feel great about yourself.
There we go.
There you go. So Never Miss a Collab is what I believe what it's called, and it's somebody's running the site, and then there's also the hashtag you can check. So that's another way. And then once you're in them, there tends to you'll kind of see who's hosting, and then who's hosting another one from the group, and it is kind of the community, because honestly, people who do this as full-time bakers don't usually have time for collabs. And
yeah.
I mean, who has time to do this? Even part-time bakers, who has time to do this? It is time consuming. And usually people don't make one little simple cookie. They really invest their time into like the creative process of it because it's an open theme. So you will find that there is kind of a community of hobby bakers or people who just happen to have the time for them, which is awesome. Like me right now, like, oh me, yay. Who will continually participate and host them. So once you're kind of in there, you'll kind of get the vibe of where to find them.
Awesome.
Yeah. I love it because, and we talked about this last time, it gives you the opportunity to stretch your skills. Like if you're trying to keep things simple because of price points for clients or something like that, it just gives you an opportunity to kind of stretch the skills and stretch your creative muscles. And I love the community of meeting other bakers and just like building your portfolio too is so fun.
For sure. Like I think that's pretty much how I started painting because I was like, I want to try painting, but I'm not trying to paint somebody's order and screw it up.
Right.
So I'm going to paint cookies for collabs because if I mess up, everyone's going to tell me that it's awesome and good effort because that's the community we have. So that's what I'm going to do it for. So it's a great time to try new things. And I heard a lot lately, the collab kind of group, it's getting very saturated. You'll have multiple collabs a day. It's a lot. And it has, for me, just in total honesty, lost some of its magic because it's just all day, every day collabs. But what you'll find is people are saying there's so many collabs, the competition's getting too much in the collabs. Like people are just upping and upping and upping their game.
In collabs? That's interesting.
Well, I don't feel that, but as people are saying, especially people who are new to collab, saying I don't want to start doing them because the skill level is so high it feels like competitive, like you have to continually do better. And of course, I can tell them my opinion, which is it's not a competition, don't worry about it, but that's how they feel, and that's just, you know, that's valid. But what I want everyone to know is that like even if you are posting something very simple, something that maybe you tried and you totally screwed it up, post it anyways, because you'll see like the group will just rally behind you. Aww. And you know, I just really like that about it. So it really isn't about producing your best cookie. It's just like, let's take this theme and try to have some fun and make some friends. And so to try to look at it as a networking opportunity and a way to be creative versus like who's got the best cookie, because you're never going to think you have the best cookie. You know, you're never going to think that.
That's such a good point. That is such a good point.
How do you choose your themes for the collab?
Oh, that's a good question. That's fun. I never think I've been asked that before.
Really? That was like me. I was like, oh my gosh, I have so many lists of things. I'd be like, we're doing a coolest theme. We're doing like best 90s show.
Yes, it is hard to lock it down for sure, because there's so many fun ones. A lot of times you'll be in a chat group on a certain collab and it'll be like, okay, you guys, we should do this next, because you're like already doing one similar and it, you know, inspires something else. But to be honest, I just like pick stuff I want to do and hope other people want to do it. I often co-host with my sister or friends and we'll come up with things together that we all like. Sometimes it's nice to do something simple and straightforward. Like I recently did a Sunny's like sunglass cookies collab with Blair and Maya. Like you make a pair of sunglasses, make it whatever you want, but like that's the theme and it's very straightforward. But then there's ones that are really not. Like I did a sprinkle outside the box collab. Use sprinkles in a creative way. There's so many options. So just kind of, I don't know, I try to do a variety, very specific, very vague, things that could be good for all bakes, cookie only. So I try to mix it up that way, and then I just pick stuff I like because it's more fun for me.
So do you keep all of your cookies?
No, I don't. I throw all my cookies away if they've been sitting out, or I feed them to my family or me if they are not stale.
Because you have a space. I'm surprised you don't keep them for your room.
I'm just I'm not the resin frame cookie kind of gal. Yeah. I'm the get rid of it and move on to the next. But I did do a family portrait cookie recently that I'm going to try to resin simply because I want to practice doing resin. So we'll see how it turns out.
I can see that correlating with your patience. Like, done, out the door, on to the next.
Right? Or I know certain artists won't have their own artwork in their home because whenever they look at it, they'll like want to tweak it. It's never done.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, I like having Instagram though as like a photo memory of like all my different stuff. That's fun. If I didn't have that, I'd probably be taking pictures of my cookies to remember them, but I don't need the actual cookie.
So do you miss taking orders?
No, 100%. But I'm starting again soon. So my daughter is starting kindergarten and I'm taking another year leave from school. So I'm feeling very lucky to be able to do that. And in order to make a little money, I'm going to start taking orders again. So we're back to it. And I'm going to be super positive and it's going to be really, really awesome. Okay?
That's great. Okay, so real quick, last thing on collabs.
Yes.
Unless Chelsea has something else.
Go ahead.
Can you share with us some etiquette tips for because there is an etiquette to collabs. So what would some of your tips be for people?
I didn't know this.
So we're going to like get into like some controversial stuff that people are going to disagree with me about, and that's okay. So this is going to be my opinion on collabs and nobody else's, just to put that out there. I am not the overall collab decider. But for me, some things that I think are important and some things that really just like aren't too cool. I think it's really important to join collabs for the right reasons. I think if you're joining for exposure, for followers, you're going to be disappointed and you're going to come off as annoying in the collab groups. You don't go in and say, I followed everyone, follow me back in a collab group. That's just not what we're there for. We are there to make art, and if someone loves their art, they will follow you. And Blair just called me the collab police because I totally am. Thanks for calling me out, Blair, but I totally am. So you have to be there for the right reasons. Because I think that people join for a certain reason and then they're disappointed and annoyed, but you got to be there for the art of it. Not everyone's going to engage with your post. Not everyone's going to share your post. And that's not, they have no, they don't owe you anything.
Right.
They are making their art, you're making yours, and that's that. And we kind of have to let people do their own thing. So joining for the right reasons would be my number one. And I think another thing that's important, which has gone away, and everyone's going to like be like, oh, she's talking about me, but I'm not. It's not anyone in particular. Post on the posting day, y'all. Like, it's a thing for me. Like, everyone's going to get mad at me. I'm just starting drama right now because nobody does it anymore.
Really? I thought that was the whole point of it. You all decide.
That's the point for me. I think the point is to post together, use that hashtag, be there on that day. Or if you can't engage on that day, engage later, but post together. And I think it's that community feel. And if people look at Maya and see Maya posts late sometimes too.
Getting called out, sis.
I'm calling everyone. It's nobody in particular that I am aiming this at. I'm just saying in general, collabs have become very saturated. People take on so many. They've got one every day or they've got one once a week and they're not able to keep up.
Yeah.
For me, I would highly suggest picking a couple a month or picking what you can truly do and dedicating your time to it. And then you can be active in that collab group. You can post with your group. You can engage more. So etiquette wise, I feel it's really good to post on the posting day. But again, I think I might be an unpopular opinion there.
Okay, a question on that.
Yeah.
Is it frowned upon?
Some wine now. Go ahead.
There it is. The wine is talking. Okay. Is it frowned upon if, for instance, say you're doing a Disney collab? Say I was not involved in any of the discussions prior to the Disney collab, but I see a bunch of people posting Disney stuff and I happen to have a Disney cookie. Is it inappropriate or frowned upon to all of a sudden post and join the collab and join
the hashtag?
Don't be a thirsty hashtag monster. Oh my God. like honestly, this doesn't even happen anymore because people have been called out. But when we first started collabs, I would do a random collab. Like take Disney, for example. I just did Disney fashion. Say I have a Disney fashion club. I would have people posting kid drama. I would have people posting from like years ago on our hashtag that had nothing to do with it. It would be like unicorns, but they saw that it was popular that day and they would just put their hashtag on it. It's just not a cute look. Like people know that you're not part of this collab and it's weird.
Do you message them and ask them to remove the hashtag?
I certainly do. Collab police. I'm like, hey, can you take that off?
Hello. Let me write your ticket for the day.
So yes, I message them, and most people just ignore me and don't get back to me. And some people,
really?
And I'm very kind about it, of course. And most people say, "I am so sorry, I didn't understand the rules," and they remove it. And I say, "I hope you join us next time. Here's an upcoming collab," and invite them in because most people just don't know. So as long as everyone deals with it in a kind way, it can be positive. But some people are just jumping on. So yes, but that doesn't really happen anymore. You know, it used to happen constantly. And
You scared everybody, Murrah.
That's right.
You policed
right.
so well.
My hashtags.
I have a question about CookieCon then.
Okay.
Since I have not been to CookieCon and I just get to see all of the wonderful stories of everybody attending, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong or labeling it wrong, but the big collab that like they give a theme, what is it? The art show?
Oh yeah, the sugar show.
Sugar show. There you go. Are a lot of those people involved in the collabs, or is it just like, because I see these like beautiful handcrafted, like Justine I know did that beautiful like painting hand cookies, mind blowing.
Yeah.
But is that something that like you find a lot of the people carry over into, or is it just two totally separate worlds?
As far as I know, it's two totally separate worlds.
Okay.
The sugar show is like big stuff. I went to my first CookieCon in 2019. I made a piece for each different theme. There was like 3. And I was like, I am so good. Oh my God, look at these cookies. I worked so hard on them. I hand painted a picture of my daughter. Like I went all out. I brought them to put them up and I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Never mind. What is the madness around here? I'm done.
Like, I know, and I feel
amazing.
I feel like it's almost one of the more original like art forms of cookie decorating of what a lot of them do, and I feel like it's very popular like European art form. Like I feel like when I see a lot of that art, it comes from people located in European countries. So, and it's very, I think it's like the classic gingerbread model is a lot of like that style of like just the insane.
There's like a lot of 3D amazingness. There's also a lot of cookiers that are big in our community on Instagram that do it, that make normal like flat cookies, but they're just incredible. It's another world going to that, just drooling over all those cookies. And from what I know, it's quite a mix. It's kind of like some of the like OG cookiers that like aren't barely even on Instagram. Like I don't need Instagram for my cookie stuff. Making pieces all the way down to people like me who are just like, I'm new and I want to do this fun thing at CookieCon. So it's a wide range and it's amazing.
Oh, I love that. Would you ever do a show if you were approached for it?
Oh, like a baking show?
Yeah.
Like Food Network style?
Yeah.
So I've been asked or gone through a few steps of the big one, the Christmas Cookie Challenge. And I know that they kind of message everybody and their mamas, but I'm one of them. And it's just never worked out for me timing wise. I don't want to I couldn't go because I'm a teacher and they film it like you have to be available last minute and they film it right during the school year. So when I was teaching, I wasn't comfortable just like piecing out. When you have really young children or when I was pregnant and couldn't fly, like there was all these things each year that has stopped me from doing it. And I'm not against it. I'm also not like super stoked to do it. If it happens, I think it will happen. And I keep telling myself, can only get better.
Yes.
So if
right.
I have to keep saying no and I can say yes one year, I hopefully will only be better by then anyway. So
That's
we'll
amazing.
see. Yeah.
I love that. Love that. Yeah, it's a whole different game
Yeah.
on that show.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll see
Chelsea
like these
speaks from
amazing.
experience.
What was
You'll
that?
see these.
You both.
Oh, Chelsea speaks from experience. Oh, yeah, they're saying who won the sugar show when you were there. Oh, it was the trash raccoons. I remember seeing those. Those were
Trash.
incredible.
Those were amazing.
So cute.
Wasn't that
Downtown Doe did those.
Downtown Doe, yeah.
But I think the year we were there, that was last year. The year we were there was 2019. I think she made a llama something, like a cool llama game.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, but I think she won that year too. She's amazing.
She's incredible. I remember seeing her like time lapse of how she made the trash can.
Yeah.
Weren't they raccoon? Yeah, raccoons. The trash can raccoons.
It's
Okay.
amazing. You guys are, yeah, blown. I just am in awe of all of y'all.
It's gorgeous. Okay, so going back to our topic of growth,
Yes.
what we want to do and what we're planning to do when we interview our bakers. Maya asked, Melissa, would you two go on a baking show? Well, Chelsea was on Christmas Cookie Challenge. What year was it, Chelsea?
Oh, goodness. It was season 3 I did. So 2 years ago now, I want to say they're starting season 5 this year.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
She had a great group.
I did. And I think that really, from speaking to so many people over the course of my experience and then the next year and then the filming of this year, I really think it depends on, 1, your personality, and 2, your group just makes or breaks it, because it is, I can like respect, okay, this is total OG, but like Real World and stuff where they would just like throw people together. And they were like, you're just in this life experience. That is 100% what it is like, that you just click. Like you all experience something that no one outside of this little realm could ever understand.
Sure.
So it's just the support. And I still talk to my people, at least one of them, every other day.
Aww.
So it was amazing. I had a great time, but I think it also your personality of, if things go wrong, I'm just kind of like, it is what it is. Let's move on. But it's very high intensity. What?
I am not that way.
Yeah, it's a high pace, like go,
Yeah.
think on your feet, problem solving. Like there's no time to, where I feel like when you're in your own kitchen and you're like, let me think through this. How would I do this? You don't have that time.
Kels, did you go in with a game plan? Like you had certain recipes that you knew, like whatever secret ingredient they throw at me, I can make this work into this recipe.
I will say you definitely go in with some type of game plan. The fact that when it sticks, it's like that whole reel of like, design the plan, execute the plan, throw the plan away.
Yeah.
That's a baking show. Because I think, and it's also when you're on it, just like we were talking about, is you're hearing other people and you're like, oh my gosh, that is my exact design idea too. But you're not going to tell them like, hey, I'm also doing a penguin.
Yeah.
So then on the moment, you're like, oh my goodness, how am I going to make this penguin different? Because there's only so many ways I can make a Christmas penguin. So yeah, I loved it because I love that fast pace challenge, and speed baking and speed decorating is like my jam. But like, bless one of the girls I was on there with, Tiffany, we still to this day will text her. She flooded like 200 cookies in 30 minutes.
What?
Oh my gosh. She was just like, on to the next. We were like, is this real? What is she doing?
Totally.
Yeah. So it's a whole nother world, but I highly recommend, if anybody is out there and is approached, I say do it, because again, it will always hold a special place in my heart for it. So I hope you get it one day, whether it be sugar art, something design, or a Netflix. Like, I mean, your art is amazing and it needs to be showcased. So I hope that comes to fruition for you.
I could never make anything like that in half an hour, but
I know, right?
Thank you.
Murrah,
Maybe you will someday, and I'm glad you had such a fun experience. That's awesome.
I love it.
Murrah, maybe we can do the same episode one day.
There you
Yeah,
go.
you guys can get, there's
Be so
team
fun.
ones. Like,
I'll go on if Melissa's on.
Yeah, man. Free girls trip.
you're like, my contract comes with her and my sister.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
exactly.
Maya wouldn't do a baking show with me.
Oh, you guys do like the dynamic sister duo.
That would be
I don't know about that.
I love it. I love it. Well, we do have some rapid fire questions, but before we do,
maybe they extended it. Okay, so one thing we did ask Murrah to do is pick a couple of sets that either pushed her in some way or just kind of were ones that she really wanted to speak about, specifically that she has done. So I'm gonna hold this up. This is the first. Oh, let me move.
oh wait, girl, it's gone.
Let me move my leg.
Okay, sorry guys. My phone is a little better than that.
Oh, did you get it plugged in?
Yep.
Okay, so here is our first one.
My little ghost.
Do we see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Murrah, tell us about why you chose this one.
So I did Ghost Gets the Good Stuff. It was Halloween. I think that was 2018. So I've been decorating for a year.
Yeah.
And I wanted to just like do something fun that like wasn't in order and something I thought would be funny, because my favorite cookies to make are funny cookies that are just silly. So I decided to do a series of like adults trick-or-treating and what they would want to get. And it started.
That's amazing.
So I started with that one, who has a Chipotle burrito because my husband loves Chipotle. So I started with that guy getting his guac. And then I went from there and I asked people like in my stories what they would want. And I did a bunch of them. And I think that was a turning point for me, because it was the first one I did that was just like my idea, my designs. Like it was super fun. I didn't do it for anybody, like any sets. I remember I did a giveaway and like gave them away since I didn't know what to do with cookies that I didn't sell at that time. And it was just so fun and people really appreciate it. I was like, okay, so I can do silly, weird things that I think is funny, and it does connect with other people and they do like them. So after that, I just kind of started to push myself to do more unique and connect projects that connected with me a little more.
I mean, it sounds like the start of your collab love, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Melissa, we're not getting kicked off, are we?
No.
Guys, we might have been a milestone in like Instagram history.
Let's see how long we can push it.
Our luck is with us today.
So I think that I didn't download the screenshot that you sent me, but okay. This is the idea, right? I don't know if this is the exact, is that the exact right one?
It's good enough. Yeah.
That, and then there's also these.
You guys, these are cookies. Like,
know.
we will post these so you can see them. Clear as day.
So this one was like a big.
Are you there? Oh, there we go. We got you.
Okay.
Do I keep getting kicked off?
No, we got you now.
Mom.
I'm back. I should be good. I changed my setting to not be in low battery.
Okay.
So that one's from March, and it was the last order I've taken. And I haven't been taking orders, but I got this order and I really wanted to take it. And it was basically like someone who wanted like specific shoes, specific handbags. He was sending me pictures of like his fiance's different items. Like people actually own those things. I was like, what? I'd like portraits of my dogs. I want Disney worked in. I want a cookie remembering like the proposal. Like, it was very specific.
All my favorite
I was
things.
just like, I want to do this order. Like, I want to do this. This is the kind of orders I want. I want to do orders that are like very unique, things I like, and somebody who understands that this is what they're going to pay for. Like, this is what they're getting, high-end, very specific, customized cookies. And that is my goal for clients when I'm doing them is to bake cookies I really want to make and get paid for it. Like win-win.
There
So
you go.
yeah. So I made those shoes. He sent me all the different shoes, like screenshots. I made them all with royal icing. They were bad. Like I'm looking at it like, oh no, like these are bad. What do I do? And it just kind of dawned on me that like, I just need to paint cookies. Like whenever I'm in doubt, just paint cookies. And it felt
Paint it out.
Yeah, paint it out. So I redid them, which I'm not one to do. I usually am just like, it's not my best, but I'm going with it kind of person.
Yeah.
But I redid it. I redid the cookies. I flooded them all white and I just painted them. And I was so happy with them and so much happier than I was before the others. And it was a turning point for me that like maybe my niche is more very customized painted cookies because I loved the way they turned out and I was fighting it. I kept thinking like orders just need to be royal icing basic cookies. And for some and for a lot of customer bases, they are because they need simplified. It's a price point and I get that and respect that. But when I can get those orders, it's really fun for me. So that was a fun business realization.
I love that. So beautiful.
Thank you.
Using those creative muscles. I love it. Okay. So we have our rapid fire, Chelsea. Is that what we had? Or questions?
Let's do rapid fire.
Okay. Do you have some?
The this or that's. Ready? Do you want to start?
Yeah,
Want me
ready.
to go?
Let's do it.
All right. Coffee or tea? Because I'm going to ask everybody this one.
Coffee.
Oh, good.
Good.
Melissa, go.
Did you send these to me? Because I have my own.
Did not. No, go ahead.
Okay, good.
She's
I
winning.
have my own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fondant or modeling chocolate?
Fondant.
Okay. To eat or to work with or both?
I don't like the taste of either, but, and I don't really work with, I've worked with modeling chocolate a little bit. I prefer to work with fondant.
Okay.
Ooh. Night decorating or morning decorating?
Morning decorating if I could, but I have to do it at night when my kids are asleep. So unfortunately, night decorating.
For time being, you'll be there one day.
I will be there one day. Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Maya said she thinks lives are 4 hours now. Y'all are in trouble.
Yeah. We're gonna have like one
Okay.
person by the end of the 4 hours.
Sometimes Melissa and I just get going and we're like, oh my gosh, guys, hour and 40 minutes. We're so sorry.
Okay. So I know you love Disney. Disney princesses or villains?
Ooh.
Princesses, because the new age Disney princesses are like badass princesses.
Yes.
Like the classic ones need some
They're
work.
with the, I know. Anytime we watch the classics, I'm like,
Ooh, yeah.
That's
For
dated.
sure. But I love them, and they're not all princesses, but like Moana and the Frozen girls and like Raya, like all these new leading women are just like awesome.
I love
Yeah.
that. Who is your favorite Disney villain, though, if you have to pick one?
Ursula and then Yzma from Emperor's New Groove.
Ooh, that's so unique.
I love your villain cookies.
Thank
Mhm.
you.
Oh my goodness. The
I love
Cruella
them.
de Vil and the Ursula one.
Maleficent has my heart. So,
Oh,
good one.
Maleficent's good.
yes.
Uh-huh.
Do you watch Descendants with your kids then? You haven't seen that one?
Mm-mm. I've heard about it, but my daughter doesn't do as well with real life, like live action.
Oh, okay.
She's still into cartoons, so it doesn't hold her attention.
Dang. Yeah, my kids got into it because of the music.
It's good. It's
One
good.
day. We
Yes.
will.
Yes.
Okay, Chelsea, do you have
Go
more?
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have another one. I have two more. Okay. You can either have no projector or you have to use 20 colors of icing.
Oh, no projector. No projector. I can't do all the icing. I'll wing
She'll
it.
decorate without the projector.
I will wing it, and we're all just going to have a good laugh.
I love that.
Okay, I have one more. Would you rather decorate cookies or eat cookies?
Decorate cookies. I am like, don't even like sugar cookies that much. It's like, I mean, not that they're like, I'm not saying my own recipe sucks or like putting myself down, like, but if I just want chocolate, like an ice cream. Like I'm just not a big sugar cookie, which is good because I have a
Yeah.
sweet tooth and I'd eat them all. So it's a win-win for me.
Yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
like them literally like burning my hands right out of the oven.
That's true. I will make myself a naked one out of the oven.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, I like them even without the icing.
Yeah, without,
Yeah.
exactly, yes.
Yeah. Right out of the oven, or like after date night when you come home and sit our home, like
There's nothing around, cookies.
Yes.
have some cocktails. You're just like,
I'm with you though on the chocolate. That is my 100% heart is give me chocolate cake, give me brownies, give me chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
Those I'll do, but yeah, I will not choose a sugar cookie out of any of
I
those.
have the hardest time. I only offer my chocolate cookies, my chocolate sugar cookies at Valentine's. And it's like my kryptonite because I love like a chewy brownie and that's what they taste like.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Have you tried it with coconut icing? Do you like chocolate coconut?
Oh my gosh, that's like German chocolate cake.
So I've added coconut extract to my icing with the vanilla and like the touch of coconut with the chocolate cookies. Pretty bomb. Yeah, it's good.
That's amazing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I always find when I switch like my seasonal flavors because I'll offer like summer's obviously lemon and then I have pumpkin and apple spice, chocolate peppermint. Those are always the worst. It's the ones that are like the seasonal that now I can't eat them. But prior, I'm like, oh my gosh, these are amazing. I'm like, I can't make seasonal cookies, guys, because I will eat them.
Yeah,
I know.
it's so good.
I know.
Yeah.
I only ever offer chocolate and gingerbread. I just don't have time to like keep track of all of that different stuff.
Yeah.
I can't do gingerbread. I cannot get on that train.
Well, I like a gingerbread.
No. I'm like, All right. Moving on to our excitement. We included Murrah in our Bake of the Week.
Woo!
We had to sing it. Bake of the Week. Bake of the Week.
Bake of the week. Bake of the week. Bake of the week. Bake of the
We're
week.
going to get like flagged for copyright one of these times.
I know,
but
right? We're making it a thing.
We are.
So, Murrah, this is Murrah's choice this week. It is by Hello Dolly Pastries.
Yes.
Love
This
this.
is gorgeous.
I love it.
What do you love about it?
So this was for the Disney fashion collab that we recently did together. And I love it because it's super unique. She decided to do like a whole outfit from a ride, which I didn't, like that's a really cool idea. Interpretation.
Power of Terror.
Yeah, Disney fashion. She also chose Tower of Terror, which is like the sickest ride. I love that ride.
Yes.
And the one in Disneyland has changed for Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's fun too. Like the music's rad. But she
Not
went
as good.
School. Yeah. She went old school with like the old hotel vibe. She did it beautifully, like the folds in the dress.
Yeah.
And she did like
is it fondant or did she do that with shading?
I feel like shading, but I don't know the answer to that.
I'll have to go to the post and
Amazing.
Yeah, it's so good. And also, like, she based these off of items. She didn't go and, like, it was her designs. Like, obviously, she's making it off of something, but this is the first time I've seen cookies. So it's always cool to see it, for the first time. She just nailed it. I love it.
Such a beautiful, clean picture, too. You have really good, clean pictures, Murrah. What's your trick?
I take them with my iPhone. I take them in natural light or a light box. And then I use Lightroom or PixLR, P-I-X-L-R. And I just brighten the background as much as I can without making the cookies look like crap. And it works like 50% of the time. And the other 50% of the time I send my photos. The other 50% I send my photos to my friends like, oh my God, these look horrible. And they help me through it because editing is hard.
Editing is hard. I wish that I wish there was a way for it to like pick up, I mean, I'm sure there are, but pick up just the background and blast that without completely blasting. Like
so PixLR, and I learned this from Ashley, PixLR, you can only brighten the background, but you can't like choose it and brighten it. You have to get a little tool and literally go around your cookies and brighten
So
it.
that's
Oh,
that's
goodness.
So
Yeah.
it takes me a long time, and with one cookie, it's like, I can handle this. But then you have a set, and I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. No way. Yeah, so people who have sets are harder.
I have a question for you. Have you always been Disney lover at heart?
I like Disney a lot, but actually when I met my husband, he was Disney obsessed. And so he was like, let's go to Disneyland. And I'm like, I don't have a kid. What do you mean go to Disneyland? Like, I've been like twice in my life. I went like once as a teenager with a friend and once as a little kid. And he's like, we just go and it's fun. And I was like, all right, I guess so. And it was so fun. And I was like re-energized on the Disney love, and I've been obsessed ever since. So it's
I mean, we're fingers crossed if COVID's not a huge issue. We're supposed to go on a Disney cruise. My parents are taking us on a Disney cruise.
Oh my gosh.
This December. And we've actually we've never done a Disney cruise, but Disney is so top notch with the cleanliness and their customer service that there are people who go on Disney cruises who do not have kids because
Right.
they're like, the food is so good, the entertainment's so good,
It's magical.
it's amazing, like
Yes.
it's the way to go.
Yeah,
It's
my
magical.
family.
The Disney cruise is on my bucket list, so I want to hear all about it.
I agree.
Yeah.
My
It's a big anniversary for them, so it's
That's exciting.
Okay, so for Chelsea and I's Bake of the Week, we thought it would be fun to scroll back on this Burnt Cookies by Murrah's page
Oh, you guys.
and each pick one of our favorites. It's very hard to do, but we wanted to each pick a favorite of your cookies. So this one is one of Chelsea's.
Disney mashup. Love it.
and I chose this because Disney is my heart. So any of my followers know that if I get a set that's like Disney themed, I'm like, I have to take this. I don't care how booked I am. Like, because there's so many fun things to do, and they're always just like, give me anything Disney.
I know,
Like,
it's so fun.
yes, and I love everything about, like, this is my childhood in a cookie. My family has been going to Disney every year, at least once a year since I was born. That was always like our annual family vacation. And my brother actually worked for Disney, I think for 8 or 9 years.
What did he do?
He is a character. Yes.
Oh my God, which character? Give us hints. We have to guess. Do you
So
already know Melissa?
he, I'm gonna follow Disney etiquette, but he is really good friends with Flynn Rider. Oh, what is his name? Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name from Frozen? Not Sven. Kristoff from Frozen. He's really good friends with. Pirates of the Caribbean. All the above of those.
Okay.
Ludo, he's really good friends with. Snow White's prince, who I don't believe has a name. Prince Charming. So, yes, he had the whole Disney experience of being friends with all of them. So, it was the sweetest thing. And I have a video of my kids. He worked in Disney World. Then he worked for Tokyo and one other one overseas. Don't want to quote it wrong, so I'm going to leave it. But he just got back from Tokyo this year with everything going on in the world. But
Exciting.
we have a video of my kids, and he set up the sweetest. It was at Christmas time in Disney World. And when Santa comes at the end, and he looked over and he's like, hey, Kaden, hey, Carter. And my kids were like, Santa's real. He knows my name.
Oh,
I was like,
so
it was
cool.
just like the most magical Disney moment as like an adult. I'm like, oh, this is why we come to Disney.
Yes.
So
True.
yes.
There's something about it, man. I'm like, okay, so I specifically didn't choose a Disney picture because I knew that Chelsea would jump on the Disney ones. But like I said, I love your villain ones. Are just so fun. But so I'm not like the Disney like crazy one. I love Disney, but we took our oldest when she was, I think, 3,
Mhm.
and literally it just hit me. She was on Mike's shoulders and they were looking at the castle and there was like a show or something going on and I just like started crying.
Magic.
Yes.
What is happening?
It just holds so many. Like, we were drinking a water bottle the other day, and I had like the lid that flopped up. It was literally last night, and I was like, "Do you know what this smells like?" And I'm like, "Babe, girl, what does this smell like?" She's like, "Oh, Disney water rides." I'm like, "Yes, if you know that smell, it's so real."
That's so funny.
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't choose a Disney one.
You didn't, but yours is amazing.
This is a more recent one.
That is Disney.
Yeah.
That's Pixar.
Everything goes
There you
back
go.
to Disney.
Yes,
Okay,
everything's
so
Disney.
it wasn't overtly Disney.
No, it was not. We'll give you that. We'll give you that.
She
Okay.
went back and forth.
I did. We will share this on our stories and posts, but the texture, like this just for me is one of the best textures I've seen you do.
Thank you.
So good.
And the different, like how you made it so real because like the patterns, you changed up the way that the patterns go and like all the folds. It's just beautiful. And the shirt says, "You're weird, I like you," which is
The line from it.
Yeah.
How long does a cookie like that take you?
This one honestly is a very short cookie because so I just flooded the little t-shirt white and then I did you can see it's pretty chunky knit, like it's not super fine. So I took thick icing and I learned this all from Maya. I know people were doing woven cookies, but she's the one who I saw doing woven cookies a lot. And I put a couple different purples in a bag.
Yeah,
and once you get going with your weave, you start getting going and it's fast. So that cookie was not long. And then the writing's just pen.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
It's so
my
pretty.
favorite trick is that little pin.
Yeah. And you know what? Sometimes like I love cookies that look like they took forever and they're like, actually that one's an easy one. That's always fun.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Get the most
Honestly,
reward.
like people are always so freaked out by florals. I love florals. And I'm like, they're so fast. Like,
yeah.
They don't take that long and they add so much impact and people are always like, oh my gosh, these are incredible.
I don't like florals. I'm one of those people. I like how they look on your beautiful cookies, but I feel like every time I'll like watch somebody and I'll like redo it, I'm like, this looks nothing like that. What the hell? Like I can't, I'm just gonna watch you guys.
I have not taken them yet, but I love the batch.
Yes.
Has a class.
Her floral classes, yes.
Like really, really good.
Yes.
For florals. Okay, so those are our bake of the week.
Yay! Thank you.
Of the week.
Yes.
Yeah, of course we want to feature you. Okay, so are we next week's?
We are.
So
are you guys doing another interview next week?
Oh, well,
we are.
Yes. So we wanted to have Murrah because we love what she does and she does things that are different than what we do. Not only from her creative designs, but also she is a hobby baker. So we wanted to just kind of understand that story with her. So next week we are going to be reviewing our resident part-time baker. So what that means is starting on Friday in our stories, I mean, Chelsea and I run the social media anyways, but I will be doing a true legit takeover, taking you guys through a week of what it's like in my world as a part-time baker. And I have both the kiddos home full-time until Thursday is the first day of school for our oldest. So you will definitely be getting a glimpse into how I manage and structure and just do all that stuff. So on Wednesday, Chelsea will be kind of interviewing me, and
it's like my dream job. It really is. I would do that.
So we are super excited for that. And yeah, that all starts on Friday in our stories.
Yeah, so get prepared for in our story time along with Melissa's takeover. We'll be asking if you guys have any questions that are directly related to part-time cooking, starting out. Murrah can tell us a lot of people we start as those part-time bakers. I feel like it's more rare to start as a hobby to your extent. This, yeah, you're like,
Yeah.
we'll put you as edible artist.
Yes.
But so many of us start as part-time. So really starting at the beginning of that journey, what's it look like? Ask us all the questions. Ask Melissa all the questions because she has it all down. This is her life. She's like, we'll pretend she has it all down. We'll Instagram pretend life is real.
Yeah. There we go.
So yes, well, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
you
you,
for having
Melissa.
me.
Of course, we loved it. I learned so much. I know Melissa's in the collab world. I'm terrified of that world. So it sounds
We'd love
a
to
lot
have
like,
you, but I also understand that you make cookies for money, and that's also
Yeah.
a good thing.
It's
I pay
true.
my bills.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes, no, it's a whole, I cannot, like, and I guess that's part of the scary thing is thinking of that is, oh my gosh, how do you fit that in with time? So it's beautiful, but we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melissa. Ready?
Thanks,
Anything
guys.
else? All right,
I
guys.
think so.
Bye.
Follow Murrah.
Thanks, everybody.
Burnt Cookies by Murrah. We'll tag her. I'm Chelsea with Rolling in the Dough AZ.
I'm Melissa with Missy P Sweets. May your cakes never be dry.
And your icing be shiny and crater free. We'll see you next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.